The world of gladiators represents far more than a simple spectacle of violence and death. It was a complex social institution that reflected the intricate dynamics of Roman society, embodying a profound intersection of sport, entertainment, survival, and complex human narratives. Emerging during the late Roman Republic around 264 BCE, gladiatorial combat initially began as a ritualistic practice connected to funeral ceremonies. Wealthy Roman families would organize combat displays to honor deceased relatives, believing these battles would appease ancestral spirits. What started as a solemn tribute gradually transformed into a massive public entertainment phenomenon that would capture the imagination of Roman citizens for centuries. These warriors were not merely expendable slaves or mindless killers. They were professional athletes with sophisticated training, rigorous physical preparation, and intricate combat techniques. Gladiatorial schools called ludi were sophisticated institutions where fighters underwent years of specialized instruction, learning not just combat skills, but also strategy, discipline, and a profound warrior code. Most gladiators came from diverse backgrounds. Some were prisoners of war, others were slaves, criminals, or voluntary participants seeking fame and potential social mobility. Surprisingly, some were even free citizens who chose this dangerous profession as a path to recognition and potential wealth. Their motivations were complex: survival, social status, potential freedom, and the tantalizing possibility of becoming celebrities in a society obsessed with martial prowess. Contrary to popular misconception, gladiators were not always fighting to the death. Many battles were carefully choreographed performances with strict rules and ritualized combat sequences. Referees closely monitored fights, and the famous thumbs up or down gesture for executing a defeated fighter is largely a Hollywood invention. In reality, the fate of a wounded gladiator often depended on the crowd's response and the event's organizer's decision. The Roman amphitheaters, with the Colosseum being the most famous, were more than mere fighting arenas. They were complex social spaces where social hierarchies were displayed, political messages were communicated, and collective identity was reinforced. Gladiatorial games represented a microcosm of Roman society, reflecting its values, tensions, and intricate power dynamics. Training was incredibly demanding. Gladiators followed specialized diets designed to build muscle and provide endurance. They were divided into different classes based on fighting styles and equipment, each with unique armor, weapons, and tactical approaches. Some were heavily armored, while others were lighter and more agile. This diversity made each combat a strategic and visually compelling spectacle. The economic and social implications of gladiatorial combat were profound. Successful fighters could earn significant wealth, gain social recognition, and even purchase their freedom. Some became legendary figures, comparable to modern sports celebrities, with dedicated fan bases and personal mythologies. By understanding gladiators beyond the simplistic lens of brutal entertainment, we glimpse a fascinating world where human survival, social aspiration, athletic excellence, and cultural performance converged in a complex and mesmerizing spectacle that would define an entire civilization's entertainment and social imagination. If you're ready to dive into this fascinating journey through the real gladiators, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Legacy of Empires channel so you don't miss any of our adventures through the past. Close your eyes and step into Imperial Rome. The Colosseum stands as the epitome of Roman engineering brilliance, a testament to their architectural mastery. This marvel of ancient construction could accommodate up to 50,000 spectators, making it larger than many modern sports venues. Its towering walls, rising 4 stories high, combine both functionality and aesthetic grandeur, showcasing the Romans' exceptional understanding of architectural principles. The arena floor itself was a sophisticated piece of engineering. Beneath the wooden surface lay an intricate network of underground tunnels and chambers known as the hypogeum. This complex substructural system served as a backstage area where gladiators prepared for combat and wild animals were kept in cages. Through a series of ingeniously designed pulleys, lifts, and trapdoors, animals, fighters, and elaborate stage props could emerge dramatically into the arena, creating spectacular entrances that would captivate the audience. The seating arrangement in the Colosseum reflected Rome's rigid social hierarchy. The lowest tier, closest to the action, was reserved for senators and distinguished guests. The middle sections accommodated wealthy citizens, while the upper levels were designated for the common people. The very top section, with wooden benches, was where women and the poorest citizens watched the spectacles. Advanced engineering features enhanced the spectator experience. An enormous retractable awning system, known as the velarium, protected the audience from sun and rain. This remarkable feat of engineering required a team of sailors to operate the complex network of ropes and pulleys that controlled the massive canvas sheets. The arena's construction incorporated sophisticated crowd management features. 76 numbered entrances allowed thousands of spectators to enter and exit efficiently. The design included emergency evacuation protocols, demonstrating the Romans' advanced understanding of public safety and crowd control. Beyond the Colosseum, other amphitheaters across the Roman Empire shared similar architectural principles but adapted to local conditions. The arena at Verona, still in use today, showcases the durability of Roman construction techniques. The amphitheater at Pozzuoli reveals the sophistication of Roman hydraulic engineering with mechanisms for flooding the arena for mock naval battles. Archaeological evidence has unveiled the arena's rich decorative elements. Marble veneers, elaborate statuary, and bronze fittings adorn the structure. Recent discoveries have revealed traces of vibrant paint, suggesting that the Colosseum was once colorfully decorated, challenging our modern perception of ancient Rome as a monochromatic world of white marble. The arena floor could be transformed to accommodate different spectacles. Historical records and archaeological findings indicate the use of mechanical devices to create various landscapes. Sand could be replaced with water for naval demonstrations. Movable platforms could create hills and valleys, while hidden mechanisms could make trees and structures appear to grow from the ground. Every element of the arena's design served both practical and theatrical purposes. The barrier walls were high enough to protect spectators from wild animals while maintaining optimal viewing angles. Bronze fittings in the walls supported nets that protected the audience while preserving visibility. These safety features were seamlessly integrated into the architectural design, maintaining the grandeur of the spectacle. The acoustics of these amphitheaters were carefully engineered. The curved walls and strategic placement of sound-reflecting surfaces ensured that even spectators in the highest tiers could hear the clash of weapons and the roar of the crowd. This acoustic engineering created an immersive experience that enhanced the drama of the games. Archaeological discoveries continue to reveal new details about these magnificent structures. Recent excavations have uncovered evidence of sophisticated drainage systems, ancient graffiti that provides insights into spectator experiences, and remnants of the mechanical systems that powered the arena's special effects. Each finding adds another layer to our understanding of these remarkable venues that served as the beating heart of Roman entertainment and social life. The world of Roman gladiators was rich with legendary figures whose stories have survived the centuries. Among the most celebrated tales is that of Priscus and Verus, whose epic battle in 80 CE during the inauguration of the Colosseum became the stuff of legend. Their combat, recorded by the poet Martial, exemplified the highest ideals of gladiatorial combat, demonstrating skill, courage, and mutual respect that transcended mere violence. These two warriors engaged in a contest that lasted hours, matching each other blow for blow with extraordinary skill and determination. Neither could gain a decisive advantage, and both refused to yield. As the crowd watched in amazement, they witnessed not just a fight, but a display of martial excellence that elevated the spectacle to an art form. Emperor Titus was so moved by their performance that he granted both men their freedom, along with the symbolic wooden sword of retirement, the rudis. This rare double victory highlighted how exceptional gladiatorial combat could lead to social advancement and freedom. Spiculus, another renowned gladiator from Nero's era, exemplified how these fighters could rise to remarkable heights of fame and fortune. He became so celebrated that Emperor Nero himself gifted him with palaces and wealth befitting a nobleman. His story demonstrates how skilled gladiators could transcend their initial social status to achieve extraordinary privilege and recognition. Flamma, a Syrian gladiator, became legendary for his incredible record of 34 victories in 39 fights. Despite being offered his freedom 4 times, he repeatedly chose to continue fighting, drawn by the allure of glory and the roar of the crowd. His story challenges our assumptions about gladiators being mere slaves forced to fight, revealing how some viewed the arena as a calling and a path to immortal fame. Commodus, the emperor who scandalized Rome by participating as a gladiator, represents a fascinating intersection of power and spectacle. Though his participation was considered unseemly for an emperor, it demonstrated how the allure of gladiatorial fame could captivate even those at the highest levels of Roman society. He fought in carefully staged battles, charging the city an exorbitant fee for his appearances, and claimed victory over countless opponents. Marcus Attilius, a freeborn gladiator, rose to fame by defeating veterans and champions in his very first appearances. His remarkable career demonstrates how even free citizens could choose the gladiatorial path, seeing it as a route to wealth and recognition. His story particularly resonates as it shows that many gladiators were professionals who chose this dangerous career path. The female gladiator Amazon, whose marble relief was discovered at Halicarnassus, provides evidence that women also participated in these spectacles. These female fighters, known as gladiatrices, challenged conventional Roman gender roles and attracted significant public interest. Though less common than their male counterparts, they demonstrated similar skill and courage in the arena. Carpophorus, celebrated as one of the greatest bestiarii, specialized in fighting exotic animals. His ability to dispatch multiple fierce beasts in a single exhibition made him a unique kind of celebrity. He once killed 20 animals in one day, demonstrating the diversity of gladiatorial spectacle beyond just human combat. The gladiator physicians such as Galen, who began his career treating gladiators, developed groundbreaking medical knowledge that influenced healthcare for centuries. Their experience in treating combat injuries advanced Roman understanding of anatomy and surgical techniques, showing how the gladiatorial schools contributed to fields beyond combat. Archaeological evidence has revealed numerous gladiator gravesites, complete with elaborate tombstones describing their victories and fighting styles. These monuments, often paid for by their supporters or familiar gladiatorial school, demonstrate how these fighters could achieve a form of immortality through their deeds in the arena. The story of Spartacus, while primarily known for his role in leading a slave rebellion, begins with his training as a gladiator. His military expertise and leadership skills, honed in the Ludus, enabled him to challenge Rome itself, demonstrating how gladiatorial training could produce not just fighters, but leaders. These historical figures reveal that gladiators were far more than mere entertainment. They were athletes, celebrities, and sometimes social revolutionaries who could transcend their initial status through skill and courage. Their legacy continues to fascinate us, offering insights into a complex society where spectacle, violence, and honor intertwined in ways that both reflect and challenge our modern sensibilities. The journey to becoming a gladiator involved far more sophistication than popular culture suggests. The gladiatorial schools, known as ludi, functioned as elite combat academies, where training extended far beyond mere fighting skills. These institutions operated with the precision and structure of modern military academies, combining physical conditioning, tactical education, and specialized combat training. Within these schools, gladiators underwent a transformation that began with basic physical conditioning. The training regimen included sophisticated exercise programs designed to build strength, speed, and endurance. Diet was carefully controlled, with gladiators following what ancient sources called the sagina, a high-calorie diet rich in plant proteins and barley. This diet, combined with calcium supplements from ash drinks, helped build strong bones and muscles while maintaining a protective layer of subcutaneous fat that protected vital organs from cutting wounds. Each gladiator specialized in a distinct fighting style, characterized by specific weapons and armor combinations. The Murmillo, heavily armed with a large rectangular shield, sword, and distinctive fish-crested helmet, specialized in close-quarter combat. The Thraex, wielding a curved short sword and small rectangular shield, employed different tactical approaches, focusing on agility and precision strikes. Perhaps most fascinating was the Retiarius, who fought with a net, trident, and dagger, embodying a completely different combat philosophy based on distance management and tactical manipulation. The Hoplomachus, inspired by Greek warriors, carried a small round shield and spear, requiring extensive training in both thrust attacks and defensive maneuvers. The Secutor, designed specifically to counter the Retiarius, wore streamlined armor that offered protection, while minimizing places where their opponent's net could catch. Each specialization required years of dedicated training and practice to master. Combat training followed a systematic progression. Beginners started with wooden weapons, practicing against wooden posts to develop basic strikes and footwork. As they advanced, they moved to weighted wooden weapons for strength building, before finally training with actual weapons. Choreographed combat sequences, similar to modern martial arts kata, helped develop muscle memory and tactical awareness. Surprisingly, gladiators rarely fought to the death. Archaeological evidence and historical records suggest that only about 10 to 20% of matches ended in fatality. This relatively low death rate made economic sense. Gladiators represented significant financial investments for their lannistas, managers. Training, feeding, and maintaining a gladiator was expensive, and killing skilled fighters needlessly would have been poor business practice. The schools also taught performance aspects of combat. Gladiators learned to fight in an entertaining style that would please the crowd while maintaining tactical effectiveness. They studied how to execute dramatic moves safely, how to play to the audience, and how to maintain composure under pressure. This theatrical element was crucial for survival, as a gladiator who entertained the crowd was more likely to be spared even in defeat. Medical care in the ludi was surprisingly advanced. Each school maintained its own medical staff who specialized in treating combat injuries. These physicians developed sophisticated techniques for dealing with wounds, breaks, and other injuries, contributing significantly to the advancement of ancient medicine. The exceptional survival rate of injured gladiators testifies to the quality of medical care they received. The psychological training was equally intensive. Gladiators learned to cope with fear, maintain focus under pressure, and develop the mental fortitude necessary for public combat. They were taught to face death with dignity, a quality highly valued in Roman society. This psychological conditioning helped create the legendary stoicism for which gladiators were famous. Beyond combat skills, gladiators received education in gladiatorial ethics and etiquette. They learned the complex system of hand signals used to communicate with referees, the proper way to acknowledge the editor, game organizer, before combat, and the protocols for requesting mercy or acknowledging defeat. This formal education helped maintain the ceremonial aspects of gladiatorial combat that distinguished it from mere violence. The sophistication of gladiatorial training produced fighters who were as much athletes and performers as they were warriors. Their matches were carefully regulated sporting events with strict rules, referees, and clear victory conditions. This system produced spectacular entertainment while maintaining the valuable lives of trained professionals who had invested years in perfecting their craft. Pause for a moment and reflect. What aspect of the Gladiators has surprised you the most so far? Share your opinion in the comments. And if you're enjoying this trip back in time, don't forget to leave a like to support the channel. The gladiatorial games transcended mere entertainment, embodying a sophisticated tapestry of Roman social dynamics and cultural expression. These spectacles served as a mirror, reflecting the complex hierarchical structure of Roman society, where every aspect of the games carried deep symbolic meaning. In the grand amphitheaters, seating arrangements meticulously reflected social status. The emperor occupied the imperial box, closest to the action. Senators and noble families sat in the front rows, while common citizens were arranged by social rank, with the poorest occupying the highest tiers. This physical arrangement visually reinforced the social hierarchy and power dynamics of Roman society. The games themselves were deeply intertwined with religious ritual and political messaging. Before each event, elaborate ceremonies honored the gods, particularly Mars, the god of war. Processions featuring gladiators, musicians, and priests would circle the arena in carefully choreographed displays of pageantry. These ceremonies transformed violence into sanctified spectacle, lending divine approval to the proceedings. Perhaps most fascinating was the game's role as a political tool. Emperors and politicians used these events for what Romans called bread and circuses, a strategy to maintain social order by providing entertainment and food to the masses. The games offered a controlled environment where social tensions could be released, preventing actual civil unrest. The crowd's ability to influence a gladiator's fate through their reactions gave common citizens a rare taste of power in an otherwise rigidly hierarchical society. Female gladiators, the gladiatrices, represent one of the most intriguing aspects of this cultural phenomenon. Although rarer than their male counterparts, these women challenged contemporary gender norms. Archaeological evidence, including a relief from Halicarnassus dating to the 2nd century AD, shows female gladiators fighting with the same weapons and armor as men. Emperor Septimius Severus banned women from the arena in 200 AD, suggesting their presence had become significant enough to warrant official attention. The cultural impact of gladiators extended far beyond the arena. They appeared in art, literature, and everyday items like oil lamps and pottery. Graffiti found in Pompeii reveals how deeply gladiators penetrated popular culture, with citizens keeping track of their favorite fighters' victories and even creating fan clubs. Successful gladiators became celebrities, endorsing products and appearing at social events, much like modern sports stars. The games also reflected Roman attitudes toward death, courage, and honor. A gladiator's composed acceptance of potential death embodied the Roman virtue of disciplina, while their fighting skill demonstrated virtues, the combination of courage and masculine excellence. These values were so admired that even some Roman emperors, including Commodus, participated in gladiatorial exhibitions, albeit under controlled conditions. The social mobility possible through gladiatorial success added another layer of complexity to their cultural significance. Successful gladiators could earn wealth, fame, and even freedom, creating rare opportunities for social advancement in a rigidly stratified society. Some freed gladiators became trainers or managers of gladiatorial schools, while others leveraged their fame into successful business ventures. These games also served as a unique form of historical education for Roman citizens. Reenactments of famous battles allowed spectators to witness their empire's military triumphs, reinforcing national pride and cultural identity. The variety of fighting styles and equipment often represented different peoples conquered by Rome, serving as a living museum of Roman military dominance. The mythological dimension of gladiatorial combat cannot be understated. Many gladiators were named after heroes and gods, creating connections between these mortal combatants and the divine realm. This association with mythology elevated the games beyond mere violence into a form of sacred drama, where human warriors enacted the eternal struggles of the gods themselves. The life of a gladiator was an intricate dance between mortality and immortality, where each day brought both the promise of glory and the shadow of death. This perpetual tension created dramatic personal narratives that captivated Roman society and continue to fascinate us today. From the moment a gladiator stepped into a ludus, their life became a rising arc of dramatic tension. The initial months of training were brutal, with approximately 1/3 of recruits not surviving the rigorous preparation period. Those who endured emerged transformed, both physically and mentally, into warriors who commanded respect and admiration. Each gladiator's career followed a carefully documented path. Their first fights were usually staged during the morning events, facing similarly inexperienced opponents. As they survived and proved their skill, they would advance to the prestigious afternoon matches, where the crowds were larger and the stakes higher. This progression created natural story arcs that the public followed with passionate interest. The most successful gladiators became true celebrities of their era. Graffiti discovered in Pompeii reveals their star status. Celadus the Thracian, thrice victor and thrice crowned, the young girl's heartthrob, was scrawled on one wall, while another proclaimed, Crescens, the net fighter, holds the hearts of all the girls. These warriors inspired fan followings that rival modern sports stars, with their exploits discussed in taverns and their names carved into walls across the empire. Their fame was monetized in ways remarkably similar to modern celebrity culture. Successful gladiators endorsed products, appeared at private functions, and commanded high appearance fees. Their images appeared on everything from oil lamps to children's toys. Some gladiators became so valuable that their owners would charge enormous sums just for them to appear in the arena, whether they fought or not. The tension in a gladiator's narrative was amplified by the strict hierarchy within their profession. They were ranked based on their victories, with each win carefully recorded. A gladiator might start as a tiro, novice, but could rise to become a primus palus, first rank, the equivalent of a modern championship title holder. This system created ongoing storylines of rivalry, redemption, and achievement that the public followed avidly. Personal relationships added another layer of dramatic tension. Despite their status as social outcasts, gladiators often formed romantic connections with women from elite families, adding scandal and intrigue to their stories. These relationships were technically forbidden, but widely known, creating tabloid-worthy drama that enhanced their celebrity status. The ultimate tension in a gladiator's story came from their possibility of earning freedom. A gladiator who survived long enough might be awarded the wooden sword, rudis, of freedom in a dramatic public ceremony. This potential for liberation created compelling narratives of hope and perseverance that resonated deeply with the Roman public. Archaeological evidence reveals the extent of their fame. Mosaic portraits of named gladiators have been found throughout the Roman Empire, from Britain to Syria. These images often show them in their moment of triumph, capturing the dramatic peak of their personal stories. Commemorative coins and medals bearing gladiators' names and achievements suggest an ancient equivalent of sports memorabilia collecting. The tension between their social status and celebrity created particularly compelling narratives. Though legally considered infamous persons, successful gladiators could accumulate wealth and influence that transcended their official social standing. Some became trainers after retirement, while others leveraged their fame into successful business ventures, creating stories of social mobility that fascinated Roman society. Their stories often ended as dramatically as they lived. Successful gladiators who survived to retirement might become celebrated trainers or open their own schools, while others disappeared into history, leaving only their recorded victories as testament to their existence. The most famous became legendary figures, their exploits retold and embellished until they entered the realm of myth. The narrative tension of gladiatorial life was perhaps best captured in their famous oath: "I will endure to be burned, to be bound, to be beaten, and to be killed by the sword." This powerful statement encapsulated the dramatic stakes of their existence. Every day could bring either death or glory, creating stories of human courage and determination that have endured for 2 millennia. The gladiatorial games, spanning nearly 7 centuries of Roman history, left an indelible mark on Western civilization that extends far beyond their original context. Their evolution mirrors the transformation of Rome itself, from a small republic to a vast empire, and finally to a Christian state grappling with changing values and beliefs. The game's origins in 264 BCE as funeral rites for distinguished Romans reflected early Roman values of honor and ancestor worship. These modest beginnings, where small groups of warriors fought to honor the dead, gradually transformed into spectacular events that could last for months and involve thousands of participants. This evolution parallels Rome's own journey from austere republic to opulent empire. During their peak in the 1st and 2nd centuries CE, the games became a sophisticated political instrument. Emperors used them to demonstrate power, curry public favor, and maintain social order. The famous phrase, "bread and circuses," emerged from this period, highlighting how gladiatorial spectacles became intertwined with governance and social control. This political dimension of public entertainment continues to influence modern discussions about mass media and political power. The architectural legacy of the games remains impressive even today. The Colosseum stands as perhaps the most recognized symbol of Roman civilization, while amphitheaters scattered across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East demonstrate the game's reach across the empire. These structures pioneered architectural innovations in crowd management, acoustics, and entertainment venue design that influence modern stadium architecture. The game's decline coincided with profound changes in Roman society. The rise of Christianity brought new ethical perspectives that questioned the morality of gladiatorial combat. Emperor Constantine's ban on gladiatorial games in 325 CE reflected this shift in values, though the games continued in some forms until the late 5th century. This transition period illustrates how societies negotiate between traditional practices and evolving moral standards. The gladiators' influence on military training and tactics was significant. Their fighting techniques, weapons development, and training methods influenced Roman military practices. The ludus system of gladiatorial schools contributed to our understanding of systematic combat training and physical conditioning. Modern military and martial arts training still reflects some principles developed in gladiatorial schools. The game's impact on medicine was unexpected but profound. The sophisticated medical care provided to gladiators advanced Roman understanding of trauma treatment, surgery, and sports medicine. Galen, one of history's most influential physicians, began his career treating gladiators, and his observations contributed significantly to medical knowledge that persisted well into the Renaissance. The gladiatorial games also left a lasting impact on sports and entertainment. The concept of professional athletes, sports sponsorship, and organized sporting events with rules and referees can trace their lineage to the Roman arena. The dramatic elements of gladiatorial combat influenced everything from medieval tournaments to modern professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. In legal history, the games contributed to the development of concepts regarding public safety, liability, and entertainment law. The complex contracts governing gladiators' obligations, the regulations concerning arena safety, and the legal status of fighters influenced later legal frameworks for professional athletes and entertainment venues. The game's legacy in popular culture remains powerful. From paintings and novels to films and video games, gladiatorial combat continues to captivate audiences. However, modern interpretations often struggle to capture the complex social, religious, and political dimensions of the original games. This gap between historical reality and popular perception itself becomes a valuable lens for examining how societies interpret and reimagine the past. The gladiators' code of conduct, emphasizing discipline, courage, and dignity in the face of death, has influenced warrior cultures and military ethics throughout history. Their famous oath, "Morituri te salutant," those who are about to die salute you, encapsulates an attitude toward duty and death that continues to resonate in military traditions. Perhaps most significantly, the gladiatorial games provide valuable insights into how societies balance entertainment, violence, and moral values. The debates that eventually led to their abolition parallel modern discussions about violent sports, public entertainment, and ethical boundaries. Their history offers important lessons about how societies evolve and how entertainment reflects and shapes cultural values. The economic impact of the games created lasting models for sports and entertainment industries. The system of training schools, professional managers, sponsorship, and public spectacle established patterns that modern sports and entertainment businesses still follow. The gladiators' transformation into celebrities created precedents for modern fame and public adoration of athletes and entertainers. This complex legacy challenges us to look beyond simple moral judgments about the games. While their violence may seem barbaric to modern sensibilities, their sophisticated organization, cultural significance, and lasting influence on Western civilization demonstrate how historical phenomena often defy simple categorization. The story of the gladiators continues to offer valuable insights into human nature, social organization, and the complex relationship between entertainment, politics, and moral values. The legacy of gladiators transcends simple categorization, revealing a complex tapestry of human experience that continues to resonate across millennia. These individuals were neither monsters nor one-dimensional heroes, but rather complex human beings caught in a sophisticated system that transformed them into living symbols of power, endurance, and spectacle. Their story teaches us profound lessons about human nature and society. Through their experiences, we witness the remarkable capacity of individuals to adapt and excel even in the most challenging circumstances. The gladiators demonstrated that the human spirit could find dignity, purpose, and even glory within a system designed for spectacle and control. The gladiatorial games represented a unique intersection of violence and civilization, where brutal combat was transformed into ritualized performance. This paradox mirrors our own society's complex relationship with violence and entertainment, challenging us to examine how we balance primal human impulses with social order and moral values. The social mobility achieved by successful gladiators reveals important truths about power and fame. Despite their officially marginalized status, these fighters could transcend social boundaries through skill and courage, earning wealth, admiration, and sometimes freedom. Their journey from outcasts to celebrities demonstrates how talent and determination can challenge established social hierarchies. The sophisticated training system of the Ludi provides insights into human potential and development. These schools were not mere combat academies, but complex institutions that shaped both body and mind, producing warriors who combined athletic excellence with psychological resilience. Their methods remind us that true mastery requires developing both physical and mental strength. The game's eventual decline parallels broader societal transformations, showing how entertainment and cultural practices evolve with changing moral values. This transition demonstrates society's capacity for moral growth, while warning us about the persistent human appetite for spectacle and violence. Perhaps most significantly, the gladiators embodied fundamental human qualities that still resonate today: courage in the face of death, dedication to excellence, and the desire for recognition and meaning. Their stories remind us that beneath the spectacle and violence were individuals striving for dignity and purpose in their circumstances. The complex relationship between gladiators and Roman society mirrors contemporary questions about entertainment, violence, and social values. As we continue to grapple with similar issues in modern forms, the gladiatorial games offer valuable perspectives on how societies balance conflicting desires and principles. Looking back at the gladiators' world reveals both the darkness and light of human nature, our capacity for cruelty, and our ability to find honor even in harsh circumstances. Their legacy challenges us to look beyond simple moral judgments and consider the complex ways societies structure power, entertainment, and human potential. Today, as we conclude our journey through this fascinating chapter of human history, we are reminded that the past is never as simple as it first appears. The gladiator's story continues to captivate us not just because of its drama and spectacle, but because it reflects enduring truths about human nature, society, and the eternal struggle to find meaning in life's arena. And now, as our exploration of the gladiators comes to an end, remember that history's greatest gift is its ability to illuminate our present and guide our future. If you've enjoyed this journey through time, please show your support by liking this video and sharing it with fellow history enthusiasts. Don't forget to leave a comment telling us your favorite part of today's story. To ensure you don't miss any of our future historical adventures, subscribe to the Legacy of Empires channel and activate your notifications. Together, let's continue unraveling the mysteries of the great civilizations that shaped our world.